tuning pegs in. You'll see them right here. All I did, I used, so on these two screws and these two screws, it fit perfectly. The problem is with these, the hole doesn't line up. So what you're going to have to do is be very careful how you do this. Actually, this one lined up too. I could probably get that one in there. This third one, and if you can get them in there without drilling it, that's what you want to do. You know, I don't want to drill this thing in, but I may have to, just because we won't be, you know, you won't be able to get it in there tight, and then it won't. Well, that one's going nice and tight. So you want to support the neck here. You're putting it in, and there you go. So now these other holes here are way off, so I'm gonna have to drill them. Actually, I think this one I might be able to get away with two over here. If you got to be careful when you're drilling these things, because if you drill it too big and the hole is too close, like, see, so this one here, I can actually see the other hole. And what you don't want to do is drill in there and then make the hole so big that the screw won't go in. So try using your existing holes. You do not want to be drilling. Yeah, see, so this should work. And you just screw them in like this. Get that screw nice and tight. You don't want it too tight either, because you don't want to split the wood. But it's nice. So these two I'm going to have to drill. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to grab a drill bit. And then let's see if I can come back. We'll get a nice tight shot of how I drill these two holes. And then what you can do is, you can see the end there. I'm going to try and start it. And this should give me enough bite to get the screw in there. So it's not going to act like a drill, but it's going to be like a pilot hole. So once you get that pilot hole started, then what you can do is then try and get your screw started. And you know, it should go in. The wood is really soft. So there we go. That's going in perfectly. So I just made a pilot hole with a pick, and so nice. So that's good. And we got one more hole to drill here. One more hole to put in, and this should be good to go. And that's really all there is to it. Unless I was going to actually really try and drill this sucker out, which I do not recommend doing, just because, you know, you're asking for problems if you do that. You really are. If you split the head. So this is really good. These came out really nice. They've got a nice little touch on them too to finish them off. So here's how the head looks. They've got these nice little white washers that go on. Let's see if we can get them on to kind of make it look like a finished product. You can see it there. Looks pretty nice, actually. Those, we're gonna have to probably get a little bigger hole for that one. Yeah, these are actually pretty nice little tuners. I mean, I got these, oh, they're a little loose though. I'm not so crazy about how loose they are. But they were only $7, so I figured if this thing plays really nice, once I'm done with it, if she plays really nice, then I'll get a better set of tuning heads for it. I don't think there's a way to tighten those, so. But yeah, that's how it came out. And then, so here's a little wider on, and pretty nice. I would have liked these to have been a little darker, actually. You know, it would have been nice if these were dark. But again, I'm probably just going to leave these on And there it is. There's the tuning heads. And there's the back, how it looks. So they came out real nice. Everything came out perfect. I'll put the strings on and get this baby fired up for you. Why they glued the bridges on, because when I put the strings on it, just with the screws in here, the bridge came all the way off the guitar. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my bridge back off and I'm going to epoxy it on there so that it stays on. I mean, it's got to be epoxied. So I am going to, okay, so now I got the bridge off. We're going to take the pegs out. Bridge pegs are going to come out. So we get those all out. And then, yeah, we're going to use epoxy on this guy. And we're just going to epoxy it here because it came up like that when I put the strings on it. So we're going to have to do epoxy on this guy. I'm just going to epoxy around all this stuff. Try not to get too much into the peg holes. You don't want to get any in your peg holes because then obviously you're not going to be able to. I'm just using Gorilla Glue epoxy. You can see it here. And that's what I'm going to use. So once I get it all mixed up and I'm getting to put it on, now I got the epoxy on, and now I'm just gluing this thing in, and I'm reaffixing the bridge. So basically, I just put the screws in and then started, screwing this thing back in. So now I'm just going to reaffix everything and tighten my screw back in and everything. And once this is tight, it should grip down on that epoxy. And once it's tight, it should really hold. Once the epoxy cures, it's 5-minute epoxy, so gotta kind of work pretty fast with this stuff, but it doesn't have to be, lightning speed or anything. But you do have to get this thing in there and down so that it so that it'll probably shouldn't have used lock nuts. That was probably a little overkill. But yeah, see, so now that's going to be down nice and tight. I'm going to get that epoxy off, and then once that epoxy is off, I'm going to get that off with some alcohol real quick. Once I get this one tightened down. So now what you do is you go get some alcohol. No. And you take your alcohol wipes. All you do, you get a paper towel and you get some rubbing alcohol and get it on your paper towel, and then we're going to take that right off of the guitar, and anywhere you got that, you can get it off with that rubbing alcohol. So it takes it right off nice and easy, and you just rub it down, and you'll be good to go. It takes a little getting off. It doesn't come right off, so you gotta make sure you keep rubbing it so it comes off until all of that residue is off. And it'll get it. You gotta make sure to keep rubbing it off of there, and then what you want to do is you want to go over it and make sure you got it all and dry it. So that looks pretty good. Now it should bond this sucker right to this guitar. Should already be getting hard. So yeah. But yeah, I think that worked out pretty good actually. Got all of our excess epoxy off of the guitar. So we got it all off. Then you could actually just take some water and clean off the guitar. You know, clean it off. Get whatever excess alcohol is on there or whatever. Give it a nice little clean. And then she's basically, now we just gotta wait for that stuff to harden. We just need to wait for that stuff to harden and she'll be good to go. Yeah, we just wait for her to harden and good to go. Alright, thanks for watching, and then I'll do another video once I got her all strung up and she's ready to go.